Hello, welcome to my weekly look ahead video. Now, not surprisingly, I've been deluged with emails from concerned constituents at the horrendous killing of George Floyd at the hands of the Minneapolis police, and I absolutely share the horror and the condemnation of the underlying racism that allowed that to happen and the clearly inept handling of the whole situation by President Trump. Now, although that was in the States, there has been worldwide condemnation, and we saw the demonstrations and the concern expressed by people in this country, which I absolutely share. And I've set out my views on how we root out racism and why we need to continue to root out racism and be vigilant on my Facebook page. But just one word about those people who took to peacefully demonstrating, that is absolutely right. But the small number of thugs who thought that desecrating war memorials and statues of Winston Churchill and others is the way to go have hugely undermined the cause they claim to support. And the irony of vandalising memorials to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, which enabled them to enjoy free speech and the ability to be able to go and demonstrate, is clearly lost on some of those people. You know, back in Parliament, we've got a full week again. Yesterday, we passed the divorce bill, which I supported, and I know some people have some concerns about, but this is at last to reform divorce law. So we can now have a no-fault divorce system, which doesn't make it easier to get divorced, but it takes away the need to have a apportioned blame, effectively, which can so often just extend the acrimony when couples do split up. Today in Parliament we have got the Counterterrorism and Sentencing bill, which will mean that serious and dangerous terrorists will stay in custody longer, and there'll also be better monitoring of them when they are out. Now, as usual, I've had a lot of conference calls this week. Some of the interesting ones, we caught up with the Chief Executive of Worthing Hospital, and I'm delighted to report that now the COVID cases in Worthing and St Richard's Hospital are down into single figures, and that's the lowest they've had since the start of the pandemic. Absolutely going in the right direction, but we cannot be complacent. I also had a really good call with Worthing Job Centre and the benefits people, who've obviously faced a huge increase in their work with a near quadrupling in applications for universal credit, particularly from people who are struggling, who were self-employed. And I have to say, they have coped remarkably well. It's a really slick system we've got there, and they're now proactively speaking to people to see what further support that they can be given. I've also announced my latest list of community champions. Some of those people who set up the really successful COVID community support groups that have brought so much help to people around Ada and Worthing. So particularly I want to reference Martin Feather, who set up the Lancing and Something COVID support group, the Southwick and Fishersgate group run by Mel Humphreys, Deb Stainforth and Jill Lennon. I'm also giving an award this week to Ada Council Chairman Andy McGregor and Emily Harris from Worthing, who have manned Shopperdale outside the Worthing Hospital and been there virtually every night handing out meals to staff coming off duty. A phenomenal effort. And finally, I got the most nominations from anybody at all for Southwick Square Meats, the family butcher in Southwick Square, that has gone that extra mile to make sure everyone's looked after, doing home deliveries and everything during the crisis, described by one person as they've just generally just been fab. So thanks for all those nominations. Keep them coming in. I'll be announcing some more again next week. And of course, in the meantime, stay safe.